Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Arborea. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time once again for Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. Not sure how necessary it's going to be this week. We've got a pretty standard fare from what I've seen. I haven't read the full article, but from what I've seen, it's pretty basic as far as Galnet articles go. Now, that's not to knock the Galnet system. Happy that it's back and happy that it's at least publishing something. So, and so that I don't have to come up with things on my own. So that's a big bonus. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to say that I am fully aware of the Brewer Corporation community goal that is ongoing. There is a separate Galnet article for that, which talks about Brewer Corporation and how they are open to potential colonization coming up soon and an expansion of the bubble. I was going to do that article, but I feel like it's too wrapped into the community goal, and so I'm going to leave that one alone. I will do some videos and talk later about colonization as a whole and Brewer Corporation and some of their kind of dealings with that process in the future. But today we're going to take a look at something that's a little more related to what happened last year. As you know, we just finished the Thargoid War. So the second Thargoid War came to an end about a month ago at this point. So back in early December with the destruction of the Titan Cocijo in orbit around Earth. And so, you know, it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but it has been a while since we were engaged in any kind of large-scale sanctioned anti-Thargoid operations. But here we are. And so what happens to the Titan sites? What happens to the wrecks of Thargoid technology that are spread across the galaxy at this point as we settle into a new era of exploration and expansion, moving away from the conflict aspect of things? What happens to that stuff? And, you know, can there be deadly consequences for it? Well, I think that's kind of what we're going to talk about in today's article with a caustic tourism boom. Now, yes, I know that the clouds themselves are not caustic anymore. Give me a break, okay? It says the wreckage of Titan Cocijo far above Earth has attracted thousands of ships over the past several weeks. Yes, it has. And you know why that is? Collecting materials, Titan drive components, and other things that people need for engineering and unlocking new drives and other weapons and things. So, in a way, the tech brokers are responsible for a lot of the traffic that has occurred inside these clouds and these debris fields over the past few weeks. I lay my blame specifically on them. If they could find a way to not need so many Titan drive parts to unlock the new SCO drives that came with one of the recent community goals, yeah, that would probably cut down a lot on some of the traffic, but it may not. There could be something else here. So it says an extensive report. And as extensively reported in December, a huge effort from the Federal Navy, the Pilots Federation, and other independent pilots brought down the last remaining Thargoid Titan after it assaulted the Sol system. Titan Cocijo's destruction was confirmed on December 18th, 3310, and what a glorious battle it was. I'm happy to have been part of it. That is, fourth wall break for a moment. That's one of the greatest moments in gaming history for me. I was happy to be a part of it. There's a lot of us that are. And just, that was the end of the Second Thargoid War. And so we are part of history. If you participated in that, you are part of the legacy and lore that is the Second Thargoid War and the destruction of Cocijo. And so, but yeah, the ruins are still there. So let's see what happens. But that was cool. There was thousands, and I think at one point the statistics from multiple places were kind of put together, and they estimate there was about 20,000 commanders that were involved in that attack. That's amazing. That is just, it's unheard of. It's not something we would have expected from Elite a couple of years ago. So it's really nice to see that level of participation. It says an excerpt from an article by Jason Nygaard of the Federal Times offers the following. Why don't we get the full article? What the hell is this? Quit giving me excerpts, Galnet. Give me the whole article, okay? Not just a snippet. Like, what am I supposed to do? Subscribe to the Federal Times? I don't think so. I'm not a filthy Federalist. Thousands of ships have descended on the carcass of Titan Cocijo now that the caustic cloud left in the mothership's wake has dissipated to less than hazardous levels. Some seek to claim a trophy of this military victory, while others seek to gain knowledge of Thargoid technology. This is true. So, wait a minute, what? Others have been seen posing for selfies using external camera modules to take the perfect snapshot for ice channels. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. We were sent into that cloud to gather parts and components from the ruins of the Titan mothership. Okay, we've been there's the SCO modules, there's other things that we need components to unlock, and we've been sent in there. That's your military victory trophies. Now, granted, I do have a couple of Thargoid hearts and a containment module on the Eden's Gate. That's fine. Those are kind of trophies, I guess. And I mean, it's not weird if you keep alien hearts in your bedroom, right? I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. So, and then you have people that are seeking to gain knowledge. For me, when I go back to the clouds to visit, I visited Hadad a couple of times because it's really nice. It's around a ringed planet. I visited Cocijo, and when I go, yeah, I like to collect materials, but I also like to see what's left. Each of them have that giant floating broccoli looking thing that kind of rotates slowly. And the Pilots Federation and Frontier deny that it's actually broccoli, but it looks really, really like a part of a salad. Okay. So I like to see if I can find different components. Instead of just kind of blobs of wreckage, you can tell where some of the mini spires were on the Titan itself. And they're still there in the cloud, maybe floating around, or there's bits and pieces of it. And so it is kind of cool to go back and see, this was an enormous and dangerous machine that we banded together to destroy, and these are the ruins. Like, these are never going to be back again. The state that they're in now is permanent. So it is kind of cool to go back and learn a little bit and see if we can kind of reminisce and see if I can find pieces and where what was what. I have a confession to make, and I'll forgive you if you unsubscribe, but I am one of those that is guilty of taking selfies in front of the Titan. Yes, I have been using my external camera module to take the perfect shot for ice channels, and it's that's the thumbnail. Thumbnail for this video is one of those perfect shots of the Thargoid interceptor in the sunlight, or the dead Thargoid interceptor in the sunlight. So yeah, I can't say that I'm innocent, because I like to go in and I like to collect military trophies. So I collect military trophies. I like to find knowledge, and yes, I'm taking selfies. My God, this article is all about me. So if the war starts again, it's probably my fault for going around in the cloud and doing this kind of crap. Federal authorities had sought to limit the number of visitors to the site, citing military security and safety concerns. So I'm not sure how you would do that. I mean, I get the point and the idea of wanting to limit the number of people that come to this site, particularly because we don't know what the long-term effects of messing around in that cloud is going to be. So we know that when our ships enter into the cloud, they're not affected by caustic damage anymore. I think it takes about a week or so for the caustic cloud after the destruction of the Titans for it to disappear. The cloud is still there, or at least parts of it, the remnants of kind of a green mist, but the caustic effect is no longer there. What's to say that there isn't some kind of residual effect from the mist or whatever it is around the Titan remnants that, we're going to find out like 10 years down the road that it causes some kind of cancer, or it causes some kind of genetic mutation where you grow a third arm or some crap. And that's what worries me. I mean, does it worry me enough to stop me from going into the clouds right now? No, it really doesn't. Like it does with a lot of things. I guess my cell phone is supposed to cause all kinds of problems too, but that doesn't stop me now. Why? Because we're humans and we tend to be generally irresponsible with things that happen in the future versus things that would immediately affect us right now. But with other Titan wreckage just seemingly popular, adventurous pilots have mostly ignored these protocols, and there seems to be little appetite to enforce them. Not to get too much on a tangent, but this is how society works. You can make laws and rules, but if you don't have people that are willing to follow them and people that are willing to enforce them, it doesn't matter. You can make all the laws and the rules and policies that you want. In this case, if the Federation said, hey, we're going to limit access to these Titan sites to only whatever security class that you would give them, if everyone else decided to go into the sites, one, that's breaking the law, so let's stop there. Okay, that would be illegal. But if the Federation's not willing to enforce that with some kind of action, then it's technically not illegal because they've decided not to enforce the law. And if you don't enforce the law it doesn't exist. It really doesn't. And so, it would be really hard to enforce limiting the number of people into the Titan sites. You would need some kind of an automated defense system, maybe floating turrets or mines or something. But then you're running into the potential for destroying or damaging civilian liners and people that may inadvertently wander into these sites, because it is possible. So, I don't think there's going to be a limitation on entering these sites. I just will say that the fact that they mention the potential for problems inside the Titan remains, it makes me wonder if there's something eventually coming on the horizon with these ruins. And even if it's a matter of, say, like a Galnet article about a cruise liner that gets destroyed by a rogue Thargoid, because you got to be careful. Now, I'll say this. If you're going into these sites, some of them are still active. So I have a friend who was asking for tips on Titan drive components. I gave them legitimate advice, but turns out that I sent them to a very active Thargoid site, and they didn't survive. After they were rescued and brought back to a station, they gave me a very nice talking to about my choice of location for them to go and get their Thargoid parts. So these areas are still active. So be careful if you're going to go out to the Thargoid to the Titan sites, because you could run into some opposition. A memorial beacon to remember those lost during the Second Thargoid War and the Battle of Sol has been deployed in the system. I think that's the beacon that was deployed earlier. I don't think that's a new beacon. Leave a comment below if that's a new beacon. Somebody tell me, but I think they had already left a beacon in the system. This may just be the lore aspect, acknowledging that the beacon is there. Okay, so yeah, like I said, there's not much to this one. It's just kind of a general, hey, there are people are trespassing, or there's more people coming to visit the ruins of the Thargoid Titan, which is pretty common. War tourism is a big deal. It's always been a big deal. Okay, for the last few centuries, it's been a big deal. So these are the disciples, my friends. If you would like to support my work, go to commanderexorcist.tv/support. I would love to have you a part of the team. And that's going to be it, my friends. Not much this week for Taco Tuesday. Hopefully we'll continue to get some more stuff, especially as colonization ramps up. And who knows, the Thargoids may have something to say about our colonization efforts as we go forward. I certainly hope not. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.